Hi, people. This is Deborah again. Take what resonate for you and take that, and that does not resonate for you, just take it and put it on the shelf or throw it away. I will continue to repeat this because I'm not here to make you do anything. Um, the only way anything could resonate with you is that you have to have your discernment on. You cannot discern spiritual things or spiritual speaking unless you have a spiritual mindset. Um, the intellect does not comprehend anything spiritual. Um, this particular video is going to be about the um, the 10 virgins in the New Testament. Let me just put the disclaimer here. All the information provided on this channel are for educational purposes only, and this channel does not promote or encourage misuse of the information. Um, I think it's important that you clearly understand that the Bible is a parable. They're full of parables, and there are some in there that are not parables, but it's clear that it's not parables. Um, I'm going to read two different versions of the 10 version. I'm going to read to you from this Bible. This is the Hebrew uh, Keys Bible, which has the Bible concordance in it. I'm going to read this. Okay. And it's in Matthew 25. I'm going to read Matthew 25 to 13. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamp and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And the 5 of them were wise, and the 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, No, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy your own by yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. Now this book right here. You probably can't see it, but this is supposed to be interpreted as the Hebrew. Okay. Um, it was put together by a guy that is considering himself to be Hebrew. Uh, I'm going to read to you what it says. Uh, Matthew 25, verse 1 through 13. Then the reign of the heavens shall be compared to 10 maidens who took their lamp and went out to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and the 5 foolish. Those who were foolish, having taken their lamp, took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their containers with their lamps. Now, while the bridegroom took time, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard: See, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him. Then all those maidens rose up and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us of your oil, because our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, No, indeed, there would not be enough for us and you. Instead, go to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding feast, and the door was shut. And later the other maidens also came, saying, Master, Master, open up for us. But he answered and said, Truly, I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, because you do not know the day nor the hour in which the Son of Adam is coming. Now, you see the difference in the reading? Now, what I'm going to do today is give you the metaphysics of that scripture. Because when I read scripture uh, in the parable. For most scriptures are parables for me. Uh, let's see here. Okay, let's see. All right, now the versions. The 10 versions represent the senses, your senses. You have 5 senses for your intellect, and you also have 5 senses for your spiritual. Now, the intellect is considered to be the outer court, okay? That's the esoteric. That means outer. You get knowledge for the outer, excuse me, but you need knowledge for the inner. So the 5 spiritual is the esoteric, which means you get inner knowledge. So what I'm giving you right now, from my interpretation, I'm giving you the inner and outer knowledge is what I'm giving you. So, like I said, the 10 versions represent the senses. The senses are 5 in number but have a twofold action. 5 is the inner realm, okay, which is spiritual. And 5 is the outer world, which is carnal, which is flesh, which is your thinking, which is the intellect, which is the ego. The way to supply oil for the lamps of the virgin, even of the foolish ones, is to affirm that the life source spirit from which comes the power of hearing, uh, the power of smelling, the power of seeing, the power of feeling, and the power of tasting. Now, I remember some time ago, some years ago, I went to this church and I didn't understand what was going on with me. I guess it was about 25 years ago. I went into the church and you don't laugh too hard, but I smelled nothing but vagina. It was stinky, 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 stinky. And so what happened, I didn't know anything about the senses going beyond earth at that time. I just thought the senses that I had only focused on this earth. It's not. It, as you can see, it's not. But anyway, one of the pastors came to me and I was sharing with him that I smelled vagina. And he used to call me he used to call me Miss Deborah. That's what he called me. And he said, Miss Deborah, how so? And I told him, I said, well, I just smell vagina and it stinks. So, and then I told him, I said, I said, you're messing around on your wife. I said, and y'all gonna get a divorce. And he said to me, he said, Miss Deborah, he said, you do so well with the children, teaching the children. He was pretty much telling me, don't mess with the adults, just teach the children. That particular week, I was teaching the children at their church. I wasn't a member, but they just wanted me to teach the children. So that's why he said that. And I also told him that the pastor of the church was fooling around with the singer. There was a lady that sang for him in his church, and I told the that particular pastor that his brother-in-law was messing around too, and so all that came to pass. And the guy that I told, he went and opened up himself another church. He got divorced from his wife, and he got married to the woman he was messing around with. He would not tell me where his church was. I tried to get him to tell me where his church was. He would not tell me. I saw him sometime months later. The pastor of that church, the lady that he was messing around with, she literally stood up on the stage. It's a stage for me. Y'all call it the pulpit. I call it the stage. And she stood up on the stage and apologized to the wife, and she left the church. So I left the church as well because I just wasn't trying to do that. At that time, I didn't realize what was going on with me. I didn't know that your senses, your five senses, go beyond the physical. I mean, I was just didn't know. So at that time, I start beginning to experience the senses beyond the earth. Um, so that's what these senses is. So your your hearing is it has to do with that you hear that little uh sound in your ear. It sometimes it get louder, sometimes it not. But anyway, you're connected to outside. I mean, in the spirit realm. You're in the spirit realm when you hear that. The smell, I just described to you what was going on with me smelling vagina. Seeing, some time ago, way long ago, I used to see past the skin of people's body. I could literally see what they look like underneath the skin. Now I could see various things about people. It depends on if I'm tuned in to it. Feelings. I literally can feel the disharmony with me and the person. It don't necessarily have to be the disharmony. Don't necessarily mean it's them toward me. It just could possibly mean that they're having a situation and you can feel that energy. That's the feeling. And then the tasting, you literally would taste uh, stuff for what it really is. All this take place in the spirit realm. And just keep in mind that it's important to get to your spirit side because uh, that's what the foolish version did. The foolish versions played around, did what they wanted to do, and then when the other five versions did not play around, they did what they needed to do. They received what they needed to receive because see, there are steps you have to go through to to get back into your spiritual self. You can't just sit up there and read books and watch videos. The truth requires action within you. It requires you to take action. The same way you take action in getting up every day, going to your job for that paycheck. It's the same thing that it's supposed to be with your spiritual life. Your spiritual life should be just as important as you going to work to get that money. Um, I've said to you that each sense has an inner counterpart. Uh, Seeing is intellectual. Like the intellectuals are the ones that they got to have a book. Where did you get that information from? Where did you get that information from? That's the intellect. The intellect does not see beyond the spirit, or cannot see, because the intellect does not comprehend the spirit realm. Okay? So that would be people that need the book. Where you got the book from? Where can I buy the book? Uh, where did you get that information from? That's the intellect. The intellect needs proof physically. The spiritual person can discern it. They can discern whether that's truth or not. Whether they're reading something, whether they're watching someone in video, whether they're doing the books. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I have read so many books. Um, I went back to where it says that you need to. You'll find this book over in the book of John and all those books. And I'm gonna tell you, you really need to use your discernment when you get to those books, because honestly, the same way the archons wrote these books, they wrote all those books too. And you literally have to discern what is truth and what is not truth. Uh, so if not, you're going to be confused, and that's just the way it is. Um, but the outer side is to touch with the intellect, and through the intellect, with the form organ or of something of sense in the body. It is on the intellectual plane that the mortal mind has its causes so much trouble with the organs, with the organ outer organs. I'm sorry. Now, let's see here. Okay, like I said, it's a twofold: five in the inner rim and five in the outer rim. The way to supply oil for the lamps of the virgin, even of the foolish ones, is to affirm that the life source, which is the spirit, from which comes the power of hearing, the power of smelling, the power of feeling, the power of seeing, and the power of tasting, and is not material but spiritual. So the visual spiritual is seeing God. Where is God? God is in your head. Inside your head is where God connects with you. Okay? You can't go up there where God is. God connects with you in your head. Okay? Now, seeing God as the foundation of all, the sources of all, and the substance of all, seeing the good, the true, and the beautiful everywhere. In this manner is the eye is single and uh, vision perfect. Now, perfect means complete or mature. It's not perfect. Nobody down here can be perfect, but you can be mature. You can walk in your maturity of what you're supposed to have. That's what perfect is. That's what mature is. It's nothing more than that. Now, voice, faculty of power of utterance. That's what Webster says. The power center in the throat controls all the vibratory energies of the organisms. It is the open door between the formless and the form worlds of vibration, pertaining to the expression of sound. Every word that goes forth receives its specific character from the power faculty. Therefore, the voice is the most direct avenue of expression of conscious. I like to use the awareness. Um, Spirit is the still small voice in everyone that hears and favor and uplifts. Spirit is made manifest as perfect wholeness through the illuminated mind or the illumined mind. The art of listening to the inner voice and obeying it is well worth developing. Then it is the Christ. We're gonna say Christ because put that's what's emphasis put on. You can say Christ, or you can say um, whatever you call your God. Um, then it is that the Christ of one's life calls out, put out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught. When the thinking faculty is obedient and does as it is told, it is always rewarded with the multitude of new ideas, or shall we say fishes. Ideas are nothing but fishes in the Bible. Um, that's what ideas are, or thoughts. It's just like, okay, all right, say you say what happened is this. Say for instance you want to know about what is Adam, what is Eve, what is the snake, what is the tree of life, what is the tree of good and evil. Say you haven't spiritually understood what that means. So what happens is, as you acknowledge certain things about yourself, it's like your mom and your daddy. If you do what mommy and daddy told you to do, then you get a reward. Well, it's the same thing as with inner truth. If you do what you know you should be doing, then you will get a reward, and the reward would be the inner truth. And then the other thing too, what happens too. Say for instance, just in your everyday life, you're driving right along, and as you driving, somebody jump in front of you. Instead of you cussing them out, or you not cussing, instead of you using profanity, you don't use profanity. Then when you get home that evening, you maybe led to the Bible, and you led to the Bible, and what you asked for, you actually got it at that moment. I'm just telling you, it's amazing to me how truth comes to you. Every time you overcome something that you shouldn't be doing, you get a reward for it. Just like we did our children when they were little. We gave them rewards for uh, 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 pronouncing the ABCs, or using the word, pronouncing the word. That's what happens with us. We have to realize that with truth, you have to earn the truth. You have to earn it. And the only way you're going to earn it, you have to admit that you're carnal minded, that you are an intellectual person. You have to see it before you believe it. That's an intellectual person. Um, that's not a spiritual person. And like I said, we have intellect and we have spiritual. And then some down here don't have no spiritual. They just straight intellect. And then you got those ones down here that don't have intellect. They just robotic. Um, how would you know that? You would know that if you give up the intellect. You have, as you strive in vibration, you're gonna give up more and more of the intellect, and which means stuff and things is gonna become less and less valuable to you. And then because all you're doing is going back to who you were before you got here, and that's spirit, because you are spirit. Uh, So anyway, hope the 10 virgins made sense to you. Have a good one.